Shalom, first and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, and teach the correct doctrine of the Scriptures, and the sincere Shalom to elect out there teaching his truth, in all honesty and sincerity. Alright, I was watching this clip here from Measure All the Time Diligently. He got it from the brother GMS KC Prophets 144. Alright, and it's titled 9 p.m. and still daylight. Signs from heaven and the end is here. Okay, there are signs from the heavens, man. You know, it being 9 p.m. and still daylight, and it's not even officially summer yet. That's unusual. Okay, it's signs from the heavens, man. You know, and when you look at throughout 2018, throughout 2019, there's been a number of things going on in the sky. Alright, like blood moons. Would they have the super wolf moon? Or the super moon? I believe there's a very rare eclipse-like event that's going to happen later this year. In July, I believe it is. But one thing that I've noticed this year in 2019 is abnormal weather. You know, there's a lot of abnormal weather going on. Weird weather behavior. Just pull this up. Oops, sorry. Now keep in mind, it's June 10th. Alright, June 10th. It should be hot outside. Hot. Alright? Not average, but hot. Okay? Now, look at a weather forecast for Niagara Falls, New York. Alright? You look at what's going on now, and this has been like this, man. You know, I think we've only had one day where it's been 80 degrees or more. Here in Western New York, all right? One day so far. As you can see, we're still getting a lot of days in the 60s and low 70 degree range. Okay, in May you had most of the month of May, the temperatures were hovering around 40 to 50 degrees. Okay, in April it was pretty much snow on the ground and freezing cold almost the whole month. Okay, now up here, I know winter and spring are different for every area, but up here usually it gets warmer about late March. Starts to break into the 60s and 70s about mid to late April. Sometimes April gets pretty cold, all right, and we get some snowfall. But I mean, this has been the longest winter. Okay, it's been a long winter. And it hasn't been just up here in the Northeast, man. It's been all over the country. It's been a very wacky winter. And us being in the truth, we have to look at something like that. And because, you know, we are prophets and, you know, we do see things before they happen. Okay? And it's looking like 2019 is going to be a very serious year later on in the year. Because, you know, you have rising food prices with all these tariffs going back and forth between the U.S. and other nations. But with this long winter, it's going to be harder for farmers to get the same yields of crops that they normally get, which could lead to what? Food shortages. Okay? And if you brothers remember if you watched the last video that I did, made a statement that famines come in waves. They don't just appear overnight most of the time. Okay, they happen in stages. Okay, we could be seeing the first stage of a very serious famine. Okay, of a very serious famine. I got this article from Progressive Farmer. It's called, it's titled USDA Weekly Crop Progress. U.S. farmers fell further behind, and it's dated the 13th of May. U.S. farmers fell further behind in the race to plant corn, soybeans, and spring wheat last week, according to USDA NASS Weekly Crop Progress Report on Monday. As of Sunday, an estimated 30% of the nation's corn was planted. 30%. Alright? 30%, man, it's not a lot of corn. Okay? Now, is this article going to say that there's going to be a downright famine in the United States? No, it doesn't. But, I mean, food shortages, man, they're no joke. Alright? They're no joke. Expect food shortages this summer and fall and winter. You know, expect food shortages, man. And what those food shortages are going to do is jack up the prices. So not only is there going to be very little food on the shelves, but the prices are going to be much higher. Okay? So only those with money are really going to eat. If you look at things from a physical level, we know that the Most High determines who eats and who doesn't. Alright? Up only 7 percentage points from the previous week, well behind 59% at the same time last year, and 36 percentage points behind the 5-year average of 66%. Man, that was further behind normal than the previous week when corn planting was 23 percentage points behind the average pace. Okay, so farmers don't have their crops ready. Okay, they don't have their crops planted. It's that simple. Alright? It's also lowest percentage of corn planted by May 12th since 28% in 2013 and 27% in 1993. Okay? Noted DTN lead analyst Todd Holtman. Well, people will look at that and they'll say, well, see, it's not the lowest ever, so how are you going to say people are going to starve and blah, 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 blah. Well, first off, man, you got to look at the times that we're living in. Things are a lot different now than they were just 6 years ago in 2013. Okay? And you didn't have tariffs in 2013. Alright? You didn't have a rapidly waning U.S. dollar in 2013. Okay, you didn't have rampant inflation in 2013. Neither did you in 1993. Alright, and the U.S. and people are in a lot worse place now, financially, than they were during those years. Okay? So they're not going to be able to afford to buy the already short supply of food. Your average American. Corn emergence was also slow, with an estimated 10% of the crop emerged as of Sunday, behind 25% last year, and 19 percentage points behind the 5-year average of 29%. Alright, soybean, which we're not concerned. We're not concerned with soybeans because we should really be staying away from soybeans, okay? But, you know, the point is that everything is falling, and then it goes into wheat. Okay, wheat also fell. Sorghum. Alright, winter wheat. Cotton. Okay, so things aren't, oh wait, they have a chart right here. Okay. Wow. When you go through this, let's go through this, okay? this week compared to last year. Okay, trying to find. Now, most of these numbers on this last year side are significantly higher than this week. Okay, this is detailing the progress. All right, so farmers, if you go by this chart or this summary, farmers are a lot farther behind this year than they were last year in terms of getting their crops planted. Okay? We know what the scriptures say about what is going to happen in the last days. 2 Ezra 15:5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay? And these plagues, they all share synergies with each other. Okay? People can't eat. It's going to lead to what? Robberies, people killing each other. All right, death. Okay? There's going to be a lot of diseases that happen because when people go hungry, you know, they get malnutrition diseases and things like that. Their immune systems aren't as strong. Their immune systems become weak when they're not getting proper nutrients, and that leads to diseases and so on and so forth, man. Okay? And what else does famine lead to? It leads to the sword. It leads to the sword because people are going to be killing each other, man. You're going to see sharp rises of crime. All right? It may even get bad enough to where the government may have to implement martial law because of these food shortages. All right? But this is the Most High bringing plagues upon the world because we're in that time. Just like this brother was trying to prove in this lesson here, man. You know, we're in that time when these things are going to start just happening. Okay? They're just going to start happening, man. They're just going to start happening, man. But you know what? We're going to be shielded. The elect is going to be shielded, man, from these things. Job 5:17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Because a lot of this correction that we're going through now, okay, is to help us for the time coming. Prepare ourselves. Okay? The Most High is correcting us now so we fully depend on Him. Because He wants us to depend on Him. He wants us to trust in Him. Because we're going to have to trust in Him to get delivered from the times that are coming. For He maketh sore, and bindeth up. He woundeth, and His hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be walking around acting proud because you're in the truth, man. Alright, if anything, you should be more humble because the Most High could take it away just like that. He could take His protection and His covering away from you just like that. Alright? But if you're of the elect, at the end of the day, man, all this trouble that's going to come, it's not going to touch you. Okay? Are we going to be impacted by it because it's going to be surrounding us? Yes, we are. Okay? But it's not going to touch us. We're not going to succumb to these troubles and these tribulations. Job 5:20, in famine He shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Okay? So when everybody's starving around here, alright, people are struggling to feed their children and so on and so forth, alright, we're going to be fine, man. The Most High is going to protect us in that time. Alright, He's going to redeem us from death. The word redeem means to buy back. He's going to buy us back from death, man. He's going to keep it keep us from it. You know? I mean, think about it, man. You know, we brothers have been told and exhorted this whole time to fast. Okay? And fasting is important, man. When these people haven't eaten in a day or two, they're going to be fucking losing their damn minds. Because they've never, they've never really gone through that. Because this society makes everything nice and convenient, man. You get something instantaneous, instant pleasure, man. You know, that's what the society's all about, instantaneous pleasure, man. You know, they've never had to go a day without eating or drinking water, or 2 days. Okay, so they're going to be bugging the fuck out. But if brothers have been fasting, you know, even if you haven't been fasting a lot, you know, just a little bit of practice to get your body in tune with it, man. You know, because when you fast consistently, when you have some kind of consistency in fasting, man, your body gets used to being hungry. Okay, and that hunger doesn't fuck with your head like it normally does. Like these people in the world, they can't go a couple hours without putting something in their fucking mouth, man. You know? But the Most High is going to protect us from that. I'm ranting a little bit, but I want to get this last scripture. This lesson wasn't supposed to be too long. You know, watch this video. Brother makes points, man. You know, the signs are all around us that we're in the last days. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Okay? Why? Because we've earned the protection of the Lord, man. Because, you know, we're willing, we're of that number, we're of the elect, man. You know? He's going to keep us alive for that deliverance. Alright? He's going to show his power during this time when everybody's hungry. People are out there starving, killing each other. Alright? Pining away. Which is a terrible way to die, okay? You don't want to pine away. It's in the book of Lamentations, the 4th chapter, I believe. But ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Okay? And you people that act like this truth is a joke. You know, I just saw that the brother Zion had posted a video on the channel. These people think it's a game. This guy wrote OMG, OMG, World War III. Okay? These people think it's a game, man. Just like they think it's a game now. They act like everything's going to continue on, man. The way it's been. Alright? As in the days of Noah. So shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. You know, they were eating and drinking. You know? They think that everything's just going to continue on the way it is, man. You know? They don't see the coming calamities. Some of them see it, but they just refuse to do anything about it. But you really can't do anything about it except be protected by the Heavenly Father. You know? But getting into this, man. You know, you people think it's a game, man. It ain't going to be no fucking game when we're eating and drinking and your fucking tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth. Alright? And your fucking ribs are showing through your fucking rib cage, man. It's not gonna be a fucking game then. Okay? And to Mr. Mike Wood here, you know, it's not gonna be a game when you're fucking, well, I'm gonna guess that you're an Edomite. Okay? Well, hey, it doesn't even matter if you're an Edomite. Okay? It's not going to be a fucking game when your children get drafted, man. When your sons get, and daughters get drafted to go fight in this World War III. It's not going to be no fucking game. Or you yourself. It's not going to be no fucking game. okay? It's like it ain't gonna be no game when you see dead bodies all over the streets and people are resorting to cannibalism, but the cannibals can't even get a full meal because all the bodies that they're eating are already pined away in skin and bone, man. Starving to death is a slow, painful process, man. The Most High is a terrible, terrible power. He's a terrible, terrible power, man. With that, till next time, Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakin that's out there in 4 quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Bracha Tam. So the title of this video is pretty much Wildfires, Strange Weather, Famine, all part of the Most High Plan, which the Most High will send the sword after you wicked, you 2/3, you Edomites, you red Hebrew Edomites, man. Well, this is what's coming for you, because you know about the Rothschild plan. Everybody knows about the Rothschild plan to burn California. Well, this is just a part of it. 6 Flags Magic Mountain is burning. So, you know how last year in Thousand Oaks, there was a fire there, and you had Paradise burned down at the same time, but that was in the dead of winter, when, you know, snowstorms supposed to come in, and heavy rainfall. Yeah, you've seen mudslides and all kinds of stuff come in, but then wildfires, you know, and up here in the northern state, you had the Mendocino fire, the Carr fire, the Hers fire, and not long after that, the Delta fire, which ended up closing I-5 for a while. And so you know that they're planning more. It's all part of the plan of the downsizing event. The Georgia Guidestones say that they want to reduce the world population by 500 million. And you can see in the movies that they be creating the downsized plan. You know, they talk about Agenda 2030 a lot in there. You know, and just the fact that the world is overpopulated, you know, to indoctrinate you with that. So, nonetheless, though, I saw this morning, and it's like, wow, man, that Rothschild plan to burn California is still a go.
Oh, wow, there's a fire in the park.
But you red Hebrew Edomites don't think twice about what you do to Syria or Yemen.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, more fires are coming to you, devils. You've terrorized the whole world with your fucking wars. Wars, rumors of wars, famines and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. We're in that time now, so here's war and more rumor of war. Of course, this takes place in Syria. This just happened last week.
The civil war in Syria may be approaching its conclusion, but military tensions between Russia and the United States in the region show no sign of dying down. Now, before departing for his state visit to the UK, President Trump accused Russia, Syria, and Iran of conducting a ruthless bombing campaign in the rebel-held city of Idlib. And now the United States is accusing Russia of putting a U.S. Navy surveillance aircraft at risk during a dangerous intercept near Syria. But Russia is arguing that it acted reasonably and in defense. RT's Rachel Blevins has the story.
Tensions appear to be heating up near Syria, where the United States is accusing Russia of recklessly interfering with a Navy surveillance aircraft, while Moscow says the plane needed to be intercepted because it was flying too close to a Russian military facility. The incident happened near Syria's border over the Mediterranean Sea, where Russia claims that it only acted after a U.S. surveillance plane approached its military facility in Syria. But a statement from the U.S. Navy's 6th Fleet claims their aircraft aircraft was intercepted by a Russian jet 3 times in 175 minutes, and while the first and third interactions were safe, the second interaction was determined to be unsafe, putting the American pilots and crew at risk. The U.S. argued that its operations were consistent with international law and that it was Russia who acted irresponsibly. But Russia's defense ministry released a statement saying that its fighter jet only responded after it saw the U.S. plane as an aerial target. It maintained a safe distance and then returned to the airbase as soon as the American plane changed direction. Moscow argued that its military actions were responsible and did not provoke the U.S. This comes around 3 months after Russia released a video claiming that one of its fighter jets intercepted and escorted an American spy plane away from Russia's border over the Baltic Sea. In Syria, an increase in fighting as the government attempts to regain control of the Idlib province has sparked fears of a humanitarian crisis as hundreds of thousands continue to suffer in the war-torn country. But despite the fact that the United States has had a heavy hand in the war in Syria, which has included devastating bombing campaigns in civilian areas, President Trump is claiming
That's why you fucking deserve fucking Magic Mountain to be burned down. You don't think twice about doing it in Yemen and Syria, but now you motherfuckers pay. Because the Rothschilds, who's set up by the Most High, the sword of the Most High, is after you too. Fuck all of you. Fuck the world, as ICP puts it.
Claiming that Russia and Syria are the ones responsible for indiscriminately killing many innocent civilians and that they should be on alert.
Well, then what the fuck was Fallujah? You used fucking goddamn nukes in that fucking war against Iraq. You used what you like to call smart bombs. You used it on civilians there. You used nuclear weapons. You also used nuclear weapons in Donetsk and against Yemen. You are using nuclear weapons. So the hypocrisy of Esau Edom, a.k.a. Amalek.
That the world is watching. So given the latest accusations between the United States and Russia, it raises questions about whether this is just another close call between the two countries or a signal that the conflict in Syria is far from over. In Washington, Rachel Blevins, RT.
And more footage from Idlib. Again, I'm limited to how much of this I can show, as I don't want my videos taken down, but here's some of this fighting in Idlib. Like everything else, if the U.S. wasn't there, Assad would have already won the war.
نحن خرجنا شلة شباب لتشغيل الدوام.
And then you wonder why fucking the Most High shows no mercy to your fucking Six Flags. Because you fucking terrorists, which are you red Hebrew Edomites, you Amalekites, you're the cause of all this. And you still got Gomer and all his bands, which are also Amalekites. Make no mistake about it. Everyone will see the smoke of America, Babylon the Great burning. And they're all going to chant, "Death to America." Just as we do.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Bismillah.
So you can just see, though, that it's just very intense fighting. Again, very limited to how much war footage I can show, but this gives you an idea. I suggest subscribing to RNU videos to watch the whole thing. And then more intercepts, you know, from Press TV to report on, you know, that station that pretty much is censored on YouTube. Well, nonetheless, though, pretty much Saudi drones have been intercepted. Check this out.
The Yemeni media say the country's army, backed by Ansarullah forces, have targeted 2 Saudi drones. One of the drones was hit in the kingdom's Najran region, and the other one, which was a U.S.-made MQ-9 model, was targeted in western Yemen. A Yemeni military spokesperson warned that the army will take Saudi forces by surprise when it installs new air defenses. Yemeni army launches strikes from time to time in retaliation for the Saudi war on Yemen. The war, which began in March 2015, has so far claimed over 15,500 lives, most of them civilians. Political commentator Nasser al-Omari says Saudi Arabia has failed to defeat the Ansarullah movement despite being one of the leading importers of the world's most sophisticated weapons.
Yeah, it's these weapons are more sophisticated, and the Houthis every time, and Ansarullah, every time the Saudi government announces that they're almost done for, they surprise everybody, and reports now are saying that they're actually fighting inside Saudi Arabia. So this is a war that has gone bad for Saudi Arabia, and this is remember, Saudi Arabia is one of the leading countries in importing the most sophisticated weapons in the world. They spend billions of dollars on high-tech equipment and technologies, yet they fail to defeat Ansarullah, who are not well armed at all. So this is a very bad war, and Yemeni people view Saudi Arabia as the enemy of the Yemeni people. And therefore, this war will go on until Saudi Arabia realizes that it's actually part of the problem, not just in Yemen, but in the region.
So, further escalation of war, the U.S. showing its muscles in the Persian Gulf, and there's going to be a lot more intercepts, and it's going to, because again, the angels that are, bound in the river Euphrates, man, they're no longer bounding this, man. Things are popping off and drawn into this war. Meanwhile, these terrorist groups that the U.S., Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Gomer, and all his bands support, well, pretty much, though these terrorists, of course, are using Gomer and all his band weapons in this war. Check this out. This is from South Front.
On June 6th, joint forces of Hayat Tahrir el-Sham, the former official branch of al-Qaeda in Syria, other al-Qaeda-linked groups, and a coalition of Turkish-backed militants known as the National Front for Liberation, launched a large-scale advance in northern Hama. Militants attacked Syrian army units in Jabin and Tel Meilah, forcing them to make a tactical retreat, and shelled the government-held Christian town of Maharda. It's located 6 kilometers southeast of Tel Meilah. The advance was named after Mu'tasim Billah el-Madani, a prominent al-Qaeda member of Saudi origin. The army eliminated him in the same region in May. The Syrian-Russian-Iranian alliance responded to this attack with a fresh round of airstrikes. At the same time, army units assisted by the National Defense Forces regrouped and launched a counterattack. And intense fighting is ongoing. The situation also remained tense north and northeast of Kafir Nabuta, where army units and militants were engaged in fierce artillery duels. An interesting fact is that the photo and video evidence from the area showed vehicles, like Panther F-9 armored personnel carriers, and weapons supplied by Turkey. This fact confirms that, despite formal statements assuring its alleged commitment to the de-escalation zone agreement, Ankara de facto supports terrorists in Idlib. According to the de-escalation agreement reached in the framework of the Astana format between the opposition, Turkey, Iran, Syria, and Russia, so-called moderate rebels should be separated from terrorist groups, which are excluded from the ceasefire. Then terrorists have to surrender or they will be eliminated. This has never been done because Turkish-backed groups continued keeping close ties with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and other al-Qaeda-linked groups. The developing situation is another clear demonstration that the so-called moderate opposition that allegedly opposes the terrorism does not exist in the Idlib de-escalation zone. In this case, a military operation to defeat the terrorism and force constructive elements of Turkish-backed groups to accept a political solution of the conflict becomes a more and more attractive option.
Southfront is a crowd-funded endeavor.
So you see how this war just keeps going on and on. As we know we're getting close to the end of it, you know, why do you think they're making their moves on Iran? Because they know they just can't have their way in Syria. You know, you might actually get some of the stuff off the street, you know, by shutting down YouTube and all, but you're not going to stop the prophecy, because once we're no longer out there teaching, yeah, you fucking red Hebrew Edomites are done for.
Alright, Shalom, this is the brother Yawanathan about Adawam coming at you with another transit impromptu through the spirit of power Yahweh Shem Al Shah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glorifications to Yahweh by Shem Al Shah, Shem Akakwadash, of honest apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Well, peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect God in the four corners of the earth, preaching His word, truth, and sincerity. Alright, and I'm going to title this one, You Edomites or Idumeans. Alright, so-called white people must be crazy if you think you're going to stop prophecy, because, you know, they taking down videos left and right, you know, trying to hinder His word. Okay, they think that's going to stop the prophecies from coming to pass, when in reality the prophecies are already coming to pass. Like, you got the World War III situation brewing up, okay? And like I say time and time again, by them trying to bring the famine of the word, that's bringing more prophecy to pass, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shemal and Shah, man. Okay? You got Russia. Oh yeah, you got Russia testing their missiles, man. That hypersonic missile, man. They just tested that amongst other countries like I believe Iran. Okay, North Korea still testing missiles. Okay, hey, the elect is getting sealed, man. This signs that the elect getting sealed. Okay, and just like the scripture say in Psalms, the 49th chapter, you think His houses shall continue forever, man. Okay, but hey, you at least know that you on your last leg, man. You nearing that flat line of your queendom going down, man. Okay. Primarily being your queendom, primarily being America, but you know you can include other strongholds you have, man. All right, because basically the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Which the wicked is you so-called white people, starting with you elite bankers, man. Okay? This motherfucker get on my ass. But that's starting with you elites. Okay? You Rothschilds, you Rockefellers, Oppenheimers, so on and so forth, man. Okay? And you ain't gonna pass the boundaries that you've been appointed, man. Okay? That hourglass is almost up, man. Okay, time is almost up for you devils, man. Okay, and there's gonna be righteous rulers in your stead, man, in your place. Okay, which is gonna start with the elect, the Israelites, which you fear, man. That's why you're trying to stop this word. You continue trying to have slanderers like vocab, Malone, you know, accusing us of being rapists. The same tactics, the same tired tactics, you know, accusing us of teaching rape, you know, condoning rape, you know, which we prove time and time again. That's according to the scriptures, and we prove, you know, we went in the Bible time and time again to prove that, saying there's just a law on it that happened, you know. We're not out here raping nobody, man. Being over-righteous or whatever. Okay, doing things detrimental. So it's getting locked up. You know, it's not expedient. Paul said all things are lawful unto me, but not expedient. Okay? And that's not expedient to go out and rape a woman, man. Or a young woman. Okay, so all the slanders. Alright, all the you know, bearing false witness is not gonna work, man. The agents and provocateurs are not gonna work, man. Okay? It's not gonna work. So you keep trying to throw your little schisms or whatever, man, your little wrenches in, it's not gonna prevail. Alright? Because the scriptures say the elect is gonna overcome, which when you talk predestination, the elect is already overcame. So everything being predestinated, you know, you already lost the battle. And the elect already won the battle, man. Okay? The elect of Israel has already won. So there's nothing you can do to prolong your kingdom, man. Okay? So stick a fork in it, man. Okay? The nail's about to be in the coffin for you devils, man. You finished. Okay, no matter how blood you get, man. No matter how many videos you take down. All right, it's not gonna get you out of your judgment, man. You Idumeans, you read Hebrew, Edomites are not gonna escape judgment, man. Point blank. Period. Okay. So that's all I wanted to, you know, speak on concerning this lesson as I reach my destination. All right? I want to say again, all praises. Oh, yeah, by the way, you devils are finished. All right? And I want to say all praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Makakwadash, the brothers and apostles and elders, and great millstone, well, peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I want to say again, Shalom, Kwam Yashala, and the Bible Ball, which means death to America, death to you so-called white people, death to the two-thirds, death to your other nations. Shalom.
Now, I know that there a lot of people are not as, you know, older as I am. You know, I'm in my late 40s, but nonetheless, though, what was happening there, as you haven't guessed, though, is that is what you call a signal jammer. Now, I can spot that right away because I know a lot about frequencies because, of course, you know, I know a bit about electronics. And, man, why do you think Esau fucking had us go digital, you know, on those things? Because we used to run everything on analog, but nonetheless, though, what he could do is he could easily jam our signal without being near. Back in the old days when it was analog, you had to be near something and you had to turn your frequencies up to drown somebody else out, which is what's happening with this brother's video. As you could tell, it kept fading out and then coming back. That's what they're doing with our live lessons. That's what they do to me when I go out there on the streets to try to do it live before they put the new rule of 1,000 subscribers before you do live lessons. That's why I just eventually just started using the premiere button, which is a little easier, you know, for brothers to still have chat because, man, they're using every type of frequency changer. I'll tell you something else about what this devil's been doing, man. And you know as well as I know that, you know, our radios, radio frequency, because, the mark of the beast, the RFID anyways. Okay, radio frequencies, like I was talking about how everything used to run on the analog. Well, here's something that the Edomites are been doing lately, especially with my stereo equipment around here. I have a stereo that's from 20 years ago. There's nothing wrong with it. But it all of a sudden comes on and starts playing the CDs. Okay, and I knew that was the damn devil fucking with the remote frequencies. Of course, because that's what they do. I hear all the fucking helicopters around here and shit. I know that they're playing with the frequencies, because they're on the same frequency bandwidth as theirs. Well, they also have opened up my 5-disc thing on my radio, So they know what they're doing, and that's exactly what they were doing, is jamming the signal, trying to stop the word from going out. But guess what? It's already gone out. A hopeful elect, I can almost guarantee you that they've been reached already. That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if things start wrapping up here in the next month or two. If they don't, well then the Most High is given more time. But nonetheless, it's time now to get prepared, because we ain't going to be out there forever, So anyhow, they were messing with his frequency, purposely jamming him out, because I caught this stuff, when you don't like what somebody's saying on the CB radio especially, you use a jammer to jam them out. And that's exactly what they were doing with this brother. Now the government has no choice but to admit that UFOs exist, aka the chariots. Now, you and I have been programmed into believing that these are aliens from other planets, like the video games they brought us up on, Space Invaders, asteroids, it was all about fighting the ships, to blast them ships away, to blast them saucers away, to kill the flying saucers. Did you not think that that was a trick of the devil, to get people to want to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels? To convince them that they're little green men that are in spaceships. That's what the Atari 2600, most of the video games were about, man. Shooting them saucers, especially the earlier ones, Space Invaders. And of course, Missile Command was another one about World War III, about trying to stop the nukes, to stop the nukes from hitting the buildings. And then when the buildings would run out, then you'd be bombed, and it shows a whole nuclear explosion at the end of it, And it was just all about skill, and they'd get faster and faster. Well, who do you think programmed these games? Well, more evidence of it if you go to the movies and you pull out your iPhone or whatever and you want to play the Nuvi app. There's a game that's like Space Invaders where you're shooting saucers, but guess who sponsors that game? The U.S. Air Force. So, that just brings me to this, though. The chariots have been making a tremendous amount of appearances, and they're going to be making more. And so, to get people amped to want to fight them, why do you think that video game is in the movie theater now and all that? Because people are seeing these chariots. So pretty much, man, it's part of the recruiting process, and that's why they put it going all the way back to the earlier days of computer and video gaming. The Atari 2600 and other systems, had the games such as Space Invaders, Asteroids, a whole bunch of them. Because even with asteroids, even though those are asteroids and you blow up the rocks, there was still the little spaceship that comes across and you have to destroy it. Why did you think they put that in there? Of course, to get people to want to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels, because they know that eventually there's going to be a lot more.
All right, Shalom. All the praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harak HaKodash. Also, double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and honors all you fellow laborers that are kicking this word in sincerity and in faith. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harak HaKodash, Barakatham. For all you sincere listeners. All right, yeah, so I want to go into a lesson on the chariots because, I had a dream, about seeing a chariot last night. There was a lot to it. That was the main focal point. I was high up somewhere, and then I saw a chariot, and if I remember correctly from the dream, because I don't really get too many dreams and visions like that. A lot of brothers do, or I should say, there's not a lot that I remember. Because I may have something, and then as soon as I wake up, it just gets took out of my mind. But this is steady on my mind. It's been on something on my mind. It's been steady on my mind since I arose. And pretty much, I saw a chariot as described in the book of Ezekiel, the first chapter. And I was up high somewhere. It seemed like I was high up in some building. And if I remember correctly, I'm like, oh man, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. And I tried to take a picture of it, of the chariot, to bring, to show, to brothers. But then the chariot pretty much just turned into a cloud. It's as if it just evaporated into a cloud. Not saying that this is a vision, this is a vision of what's going to happen. It's just a dream I had, and it had me thinking about the chariots. Because I've been thinking about them a lot, and they've been appearing a lot. This is Acts 2:17, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I'll pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Right, and that's what we do, we prophesy. And when it says the daughters, the woman can have a dream and then tell it to a man, her man, or another man, maybe her father, somebody in the faith, who will interpret it. Hey, like the brother in Sacramento who comes out, the Ishkarite brother, his daughter, had a vision and she wrote it down, and she pretty much wrote down the kingdom of heaven. How everyone was happy, and then there was restrictions between Israelites and the other nations. So that's an example right there. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Yeah, so you'll have a vision, you have a dream, and guess what? A lot of it'll come to pass. Not saying that what I had was like an actual vision, yet it just sparked me to go into the chariot to do this lesson. Because the scriptures talk about, dreams, and to be, mindful, mindful of them. This is Sirach 34:1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeliness of a face to a face. Let me jump down. It's verse 6. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them, for dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. Yeah, so certain dreams you just take with a grain of salt. Yet this, I'm speaking on it because it matched up with the scriptures, man. Because what did the scriptures say about the chariots? Psalms 104, I'm going to start at the top. Bless the Lord Yahweh, O my soul. O Yahweh, my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who covereth thyself with light as with a garment. Who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind. That's right. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. And that's exactly what I thought of when I woke up. Because like I said, I went to take a picture, and it was just like instantly it shifted into just a regular cloud, man. Because it was it was like, all right, this is just between me and you, all right, because it wasn't meant, to be seen, by anybody else, because I saw the chariot was there, and it looked just like what's described here in Ezekiel, the first chapter. It's Ezekiel 1:4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, which we know this is a chariot, and a fire enfolding itself. Yeah, and that's exactly how it looked. There was fire all within the chariot, man. It was a great sight to behold, man. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Yeah, and that's how a lot of chariots are depicted. Okay, it has like an orange color to it. It's real fiery, and that's how this chariot appeared, in the dream that I had, man. So that's the only reason why I'm even speaking on it, because it matches up with the scriptures. Because you could have a dream, and it could be just totally unrelated to related to nothing, you know. Yet if it matches up with the scriptures, it might very well be a vision, or just a sign of, or just an example of how great the power of the Lord is, man. Because that's how the Lord is coming back. All right, the Lord is coming back in a cloud or a chariot. All right, this is Acts 1 and 9. And when they had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Right, and that cloud is the chariot. And like I said, it instantly went back into a cloud, man. And then and there was more to the dream, but that's really the main part that I remember vividly. And Esau is so crazy, he's going to try to shoot these chariots down, man. And he's going to lose miserably. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. And these are angels. Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. That's right, man. So this is how the Lord is coming back, man. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. That's right, everyone is going to see and recognize Yahushua, man. And they also which pierced him, and all kindred of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, Amun, or Tawah. That's right, man. Because it's gonna be devastating. All right, when people see these chariots. See, when we see them, you know, it's a great thing. You know, we send up praises, honor. Yeah, when these other people see it, you know, it's a fearful thing, man. Because they know in their spirit that those chariots are for their destruction, man. It's Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Right, which the chariots are also likened to this, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. Yeah, and this is the best way that Zechariah could describe it. And I'm sure brothers have had, you know, dreams like that. All right, chariot turning into a roll, you know. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. That's right, man. And so, hey, this is the curse. Which is why people are going to wail, man. Because they're going to know, oh, man, this isn't for our good, man. Yet in the dream, I was excited. I was kind of caught off guard. Because it was, like, right there. And at my old spot in the Bay Area, a chariot pretty much rolled up. It was me and a few brothers. A chariot pretty much rolled up to the house, man. It was in close proximity. And at first I thought, okay, maybe it's a plane, because where I live was only a couple of exits from the airport, from the San Francisco airport, but it was a chariot, man. Yeah, so these chariots, they're gonna make a lot more appearances. You know, I wouldn't be. Hey, well, the brothers in New York, the New York camp, I think it was either 12 or 15 chariots came over to camp. You know, so that's a beautiful thing right there, man. I just wanted to go into that in the spirit. You know, these chariots, and we're gonna see a lot more of them. You know, Lord's will, and they're gonna start terrorizing people. All right, so all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua. All right, the Wadiyah Ba'Hashem Yahushua for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. The Ruach HaKodesh, and Shalom to the elect.
More of an example of what I was talking about during the days of the Atari 2600. These video games were put out for one reason: to get you in the mindset to actually want to fight against these chariots, which they like to call flying saucers, or, you know, as Zechariah called them, flying rolls. And there's a lot more like this. This is just one of many games that they made. Now you might remember this game, which, what are those? Chariots. They wanted you to believe that it's possible to win. So they made the games very easy. Here's another one. Again, you know, it shows Esau having a spaceship too. But you see how those are chariots? They wanted you to believe that it's winnable. But there's something else that's really interesting. See how that's taking somebody up? You notice that? You see it? Taking somebody up. Now, what you had to do in this video game is before they took them all the way up the chariot, you had to blast that saucer, basically. You had to blast the saucer before it would take him up all the way. Because so you hear that sound, that means that somebody's gone up in the chariot. So this was part of their preconditioning, aka their program. So the main objective of this game, which they call it Defender, was to actually stop the chariots from carrying the people all the way up. That was your main goal. To blast the chariots and then to rescue the person. See, listen to that. So you see that? And this is one that, you know, where you actually play as the chariot. And your main objective is to pretty much beam the people up and take them to the bigger chariot. I've shown this in another video, but pretty much, man, this is all part of the conditioning. And because in most games, you were to destroy these. But in this one, you actually play as the chariot. Remember, you were always made to believe that aliens were evil and stuff? That's how Esau has been getting people to want to fight against Yahushua and the angels, you see. Especially because everybody believes in the so-called white Jesus, so they're not told about chariots and all that, that he would be coming back in the form of this. So, of course, part of that conditioning. But pretty much the objective of this is to beam our people up. Esau knows, and he was very clever at getting people to believe that these things were a bad thing. Well, it's a curse that goeth forth to all the nations, to all the wicked. And it shall enter into the house of the thief, roughly paraphrasing. But the main objective of this game here was to, of course, beam the people up. So, in the area of rumors, and wars, because, of course, you know, that was part of the conditioning of the chariots, though, you know, to make people believe that they were bad, and, of course, to want to fight against Yahushua and the angels. So, you see how that was all programmed ever since we were kids? Now, the U.S. Air Force was the one that put out games like that, you know, and that's just a few of them. Atari 2600 had a shitload of games, so did Nintendo, ColecoVision, a whole bunch of them, and whole idea was to destroy the aircraft, destroy the aliens, pretty much to get the aliens. But nonetheless, though, there's more. Europe must resist U.S. economic terrorism against Iran. So, hey man, they're calling it as it is. It is terrorism. When you put tariffs on other countries and you threaten them with economic sanctions, that's a form of terrorism. So here he is meeting with the EU, better known as the Beast, the allies of the U.S. President Rouhani made the remarks in Tehran on Monday afternoon in a meeting with visiting German Foreign Minister Heike Maas, who had already met with his Iranian counterpart Mohammad Javad Zarif earlier in the day. We expect Europe to stand up to and resist America's economic terrorism against the Iranian nation and fulfill its obligations in concordance with the JCPOA, which Rouhani told Germany's top diplomat, adding that following the U.S. withdrawal from the deal, Iran could have done the same on the strength of Article 36 of the JCPOA, but rather decided to remain patient and give other signatories a chance. So pretty much, they wasn't going to jump the gun too quickly, in other words. So pretty much, he's just getting into it. U.S. President Trump pulled his country out of the JCPOA in May 2018 and reimposed harsh sanctions against the Islamic Republic in defiance of global criticism. And this is why the Allies shall hate the whore and burn her with fire right here. On the first anniversary of the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear deal, Iran announced that it would suspend the implementation of some of its commitments under the deal, adding that it would stop exporting excess uranium in heavy water, setting a 60-day deadline for the 5 remaining parties to the deal to take practical measures toward ensuring its interests in the face of the American sanctions, which, has pretty much been an economic war of terror, and there's more. The war that the U.S. has waged against Iran since a year ago will not serve the interest of anybody, said the Iranian nation. Anybody and the Iranian nation has proved during the period that it will resist against pressure and bullying, President Rouhani said. So pretty much, though, man, they're not going to take to this bullying, So that's more happening, man. Well, there's more going on here in Syria that they don't want you knowing about, which is another thing. But SDF, that new group that has formed a group of terrorists with the PKK, SDF militant militias attacked towns in Deir ez-Zor, killing a civilian and injuring another. But I thought these were the Syrian Democratic Forces. I thought they were supposed to be the good guys, right? One civilian was killed and another was injured when SDF militias, under cover of the U.S.-led coalition, attacked the towns of Al-Natal and Al-Namilia in Deir ez-Zor's eastern countryside. Syrian Arab news agency reporters said on Monday that the SDF militants attacked the town because their residents had raised the Syrian flag, killing one civilian and injuring another, just for waving the flag. Amalek occupation forces set fire to agricultural lands in occupied Syrian Golan. So they're just burning everything down. Kind of like they are now burning Southern California again, because that fire is no accident, the one that's there. Now, man, these elites have a plan. Occupied Syrian Golan. Israeli occupation forces set fire to agricultural lands in the occupied Golan Heights in the direction of Bir Hajam, Burqa, and Al-Qatana in the countryside of Quinta, Syrian Arab news agency reporter said on Monday. So you can see they're deliberately destroying agriculture, kind of like how Esau uses his chemtrails to kill crops over here, or just to pretty much pollute them. If it doesn't kill them, then it's going to kill you. So I'm just going to read out of here, starting in verse 1, 2 Ezra chapter 15. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So pretty much we back everything up by this word. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, So don't be worried about what they might say against you, for those of you that bring out this truth. For all the unfruitful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what you're seeing, the sword, which is especially Rothschilds, when they have a plan, man, they are given the go-ahead by the Most High to burn California. And now you've seen Magic Mountain being destroyed, and you saw a lot last year with the Car Fire, Mendocino Fire, the Hearst Fire, the Delta Fire, the just fires everywhere, you know. Destroyed Paradise, Thousand Oaks, and now you're seeing more come out. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Most High, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually, which is why we go out there and we do this, because we're complaining continually for all the evil that's in this world. And therefore saith the Most High, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So in other words, he's about to bring this out. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's what's happening, man. Famines, pestilences. You know, this strange weather that we're having. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and the punishment that Yahweh bring upon it. That day till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell within. Almost sounds like Revelation chapter 12. Well, what Esau likes to call the Apocrypha, because really it's just a part of the Bible. It backs these scriptures that you find in Revelation. Remember, Esau also wanted to get rid of, the Bible destruction group. They wanted to get rid of Revelation as well. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. There shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Have you seen anybody who really stands by America? Half the people don't even salute the goddamn flag anymore. Man, they resist. They are resistant. There is resistance within this wicked kingdom. And I'm talking about the Edomites. I'm not even talking about the Jakes. And their course of action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, because there's going to be roadblocks. Like I said, I-5 was closed for 2 hours. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Man, when Car Fire came and it wiped out a good portion of Reading, Keswick was completely taken out. That really made a lot afraid. And that's just one of many fires that are coming. Man, the sword is coming after the wicked. And the Most High is pretty much, man, letting Rothschild, Amalek, loose. Last and final video. So I hope that all these lessons here that I've been forwarding, because you may want to get it while you can, I suggest copying this information to your hard drive and saving it, because you're going to need it later. I hope all this has been edifying, because, a great judgment is coming, so apparition shall be coming in every way possible.
Dash. I also want to give double honors to my apostles and elders. Alright, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash. I also want to give double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and honors to all you fellow laborers that are kicking this word in sincerity and in faith. Are laboring to enter into rest. Okay? Yahweh Shemel Shai Bahashem, Harakakwadash Barakathum. To all you sincere listeners, you men, women, and children who are looking for the mercies of Yahweh, which is going to be brought through his son Yahweh Shai. And we're in the last milliseconds of America. It's evident and clear that something really bad is about to happen to this place. There's a whole spirit of doom and gloom out here, which is beautiful, man. Hey, and on top of the race wars, which we're in the beginning of race wars. Hey, every time there's some type of incident, there's people on the comment board saying, "Oh, they want a race war, or we're in the race wars. We need to get more on our stuff." This is what Jake's saying, right? Because Esau is doing all types of outlandish stuff to provoke Jake. There's going to be a lack of food because the seeds have been getting smited this whole season. Okay, there's going to be a civil war, and ultimately this place is going to get hit with missiles. Hey, which Russia, they're flexing their muscle right now. This is what everybody's talking about. It's going to be a war with Iran. It's going to be an intensification and escalation of World War III. Hey, but guess what? There's also going to be apparitions out here, man. I was watching this movie, Anon. It's an old movie. It's been on Netflix for a while. I recommend that everyone who has a chance go and check it out. And it shows you what Esau will want for the future in terms of technology. But it also showed that there was hackers who had control over people's minds, right? And could dictate what's on their pretty much what's on their story, because everybody in the movie, not to give it away or anything, but in the movie you could just look at somebody. So the cop Clive Owen, he could look at somebody and all their information would come up, you know. But then there's other people, they could just put something else in your mind, and pretty much the Heavenly Father, He's going to be putting a lot of things in people's minds. He's going to have a lot of appearances, apparitions. He's going to have a lot of things just appear. You know, people are going to feel things and just lose it. I mean, it's going to be outstanding and terrible what the Heavenly Father does out here. All right, so apparition, a ghost or ghost-like image of a person. Yeah, so the Lord could just put an image of a person up on a wall. Have you thinking that somebody's always walking behind you. All right, the appearance of something remarkable or unexpected, typically an image of this type. Yeah, so the Heavenly Father is going to have a lot of apparitions, a lot of images pop up, man. And that's why a lot of people are just gonna want to kill themselves, man. All right, because on top of the race wars, all right, on top of the quest for bread, people are going to get plagued with apparitions, just like they did in ancient Egypt. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse, I'm going to just go right to the point. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord Yahweh thy power is among you, a mighty God, a mighty power, and terrible. Yeah, the Heavenly Father is terrible, man. That's why He was referred to as Al-Shaddai, which means a demon-like power, demon god. Hey, because the hell that the Heavenly Father is about to inflict on this place, man, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be terrible, man. Hey, which is why we're moved by the fear of the Lord, just like Noah, just like all the ancient prophets. All right, to do His will, so that we're exempt from what He's bringing on the earth, man. All right. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Yeah, that's our people. We are the flock to the slaughter. We are the prey. That's why every time you look up, man, it's another Jake that just got blasted. Got blasted in his car, fell asleep. Blasted at the gas station. Okay? Our people are eating horrible food, man. Above all, our people don't know who they are, man. So there is a flock led to the slaughter. And then these pastors, these false prophets, which are set up over our people, they're not telling our people, hey, look, you're on a chopping block right now, man. Like Esau's trying to get rid of you. Hey, you're the Israelites. Okay, so they're led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. and will destroy all the land thereof. Yeah, that's right. This place is going to be totally destroyed. And everybody's waiting on it, man. Everybody's just waiting on destruction, man. There ain't nothing left in this place, man. So what the Heavenly Father's going to do, he's going to bring out his remnant, okay? Because the majority of Israel is going to die here in America, whether they starve to death. Oh, like I said, in Jeremiah the 15th chapter, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and grab that real quick. Because there was a show, 6 million ways to the spirit. 6 million ways to die. Hey, and hey, man, the Lord got a multitude of ways that he can take you out, man. And we're gonna see it, man. Hey, the Lord's gonna have fun with this, man. Have fun with his judgments. This is Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Yeah, that's right, man. The Heavenly Father's mind can't be towards the majority of Israel, because he looks at the majority of our people as degenerates. Let me go ahead and grab that. Look at Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned unto the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? That's right, man. That's why the Heavenly Father's mind can't be towards the majority of Israel. That's why the Heavenly Father isn't delivering the majority of our people. That's why he's letting them get put to death, letting them get imprisoned, all right, letting all these things happen, man, because he doesn't even recognize our people, man. They've turned unto heathens. All right, yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. That's right, because our nation was created to be the premier nation, man, the holy nation. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Yeah, when you look up that word degenerate, it means to fall from one's ancestral qualities. And that's us, man. And when you see Jake now, man, a lot of times you get an uneasiness, man. Because you can sense the demonic energy upon him, man. Because they're a strange plant. It's like they're not even Israelites, even though they're technically Israelites. The spirit on them is the spirit of wickedness of the devil, man. So the Heavenly Father's mind can't be towards them. And it shall come back in Jeremiah 15, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then shalt thou tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as are for death to death. Yeah, so he's got certain people that are just going to die, okay? And such are for the sword to the sword. Yeah, some he's going to have get hit with the missiles or get gunned down. Because other people die, they might just die from high blood pressure, diabetes, something like that. Hey, man, which a lot of our people get taken out like that. Just all of a sudden they just have a stroke or a heart attack. Oh, like John Singleton. There's a lot of jakes like that, man. Lord just take them out, man. They're only 52, 53. Relatively young, man. And that goes back to the curses, man. All right, and such are for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. Yeah, so some are going to die from famine. That's the worst way that you can go out, man. Let me go ahead and grab that in the book of Lamentations. So some are going to die from the famine. Okay, and some of our people are going to go into these concentration camps and get tortured, man. And that's that captivity. And they show you that in these movies. Oh, and they got concentration camps everywhere else. I mean, there's concentration camps here. What am I saying? Them Zebulonites that are trying to come up here, they putting them in concentration camps. Don't be surprised some report come out that they getting worked in there. They make it pretty much, they treating them like prisoners. But you know what? It's gonna be made even more clear, man. These concentration camps, a lot of these big stadiums, these Walmarts, they're gonna get turned into internment camps, man. You're gonna be in there working for free, and then when Esau don't want you no more, man, he's just gonna put you to death. All right, he's gonna stick the RFID chip up in you, and that's your lot. Your lot might be to be out in the woods and starve to death, man. Hey, this is the time that we're in. This is Lamentations 4:9. they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Yeah, so you're better off being slain with the sword than being slain with hunger. For these pine away, shrieking through for want of the fruits of the field. Yeah, because what happens is you pretty much start eating, start throwing up stomach acid. Okay, your body just starts breaking down, man. You start going crazy. Yeah, because if you don't get sufficient amounts of vitamin A, vitamin C, if you don't get the right carbs, what happens is your body start eating the amino acids, the protein in your body, and then you start losing your mind, man. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, shrieking through for want of the fruits of the field. Yeah. You're gonna want some oranges, some apples, but you're not gonna be able to obtain it, man. Back in Jeremiah 15:3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh, the sword to slay and the dogs to tear. Yeah, man, a lot of these animals are gonna let loose, man. These dogs, yeah, getting ate by dogs, horrible, man. Oh, and in that movie Anon, it shows you that he felt as if he was getting attacked by dogs, man. And the Lord can have it that you think that you on fire. Hey, this is what the Lord's gonna do, man. This is the time that we're in. Hey, there ain't no more mirth, fun time in America, man. This is all death and destruction from here on out. All right, the sword to slay and the dogs to tear and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, to devour and destroy. All right, that's what the Heavenly Father is going to do out here, man. He's going to destroy a whole lot of people, man. A whole lot. And a lot of people are going to just trip out off these apparitions, getting back into that. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17:1, because it said that he's going to bring plagues like he did in Egypt. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 17, and I'm gonna go to verse 8. I mean, the whole chapter is good, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna just hit this. All right, Wisdom of Solomon 17:8. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, the Heavenly Father's going to bring fear on you Babylonians, man. Especially you warlocks, you witches. Hey, because best believe, Esau is going to come out the woodworks with all these warlocks, these witches, to try to stop these plagues, which the Heavenly Father's going to bring. But it ain't going to work, man. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by and hissing of serpents. Yeah, man. Hey, and that movie Anon, it shows you that, man. It was just all in his mind. He felt like he was getting beat up. He felt like he was getting attacked by the dogs. Hey, so people are going to be just trembling off of any little movement, man. They're going to think, oh, man, this is it. They died for fear. Yeah. Oh, man. Let me get this in Luke. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. That's right, man. So people are going to have strokes, heart attacks, just off of the things which are coming on the earth, man. Just being surrounded by nothing but death. All right, a lot of people are just going to lose it, man. Then they might hear some type of signal, some radio signal about something going on somewhere else. It's going to be like all these apocalyptic movies that are coming out, man. All rolled in one. This is what the Lord has purpose in his heart, man. And he's getting ready to bring it to pass real soon. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah, the Lord is about to shake this place up, man. All right, this whole earth is going to be moved with fear, man. All right, these people who just go about their day thinking that everything is going to be, pretty much they're scoffers. That's why they scoff, because everything has been has been occurring pretty much normally to an extent. People can still go get groceries. They still go to work. Still on Netflix. Still watching TV. Still doing their day-to-day activities. But the Lord is going to sweep this place with fear. He's going to sweep this world with fear. And the elite, they're really going to be stricken with fear, man. Well, they're trembling right now. Yet when it begins to come to pass even more, they're really going to lose it. And eventually, they're going to realize that the warlocks, the witches that they got set up, they're not going to profit them, and they're going to come before the men of the Lord, man, and try to stop these plagues, man. But guess what? These plagues ain't going to stop until they consume the earth, man. Until they consume you people. They died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. Yeah, because people are going to know the Lord is going to put in their mind, hey, I'm about to kill you, man. People's lives are going to flash before their eyes. Okay? For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. Yeah, these people are going to be expecting wickedness to befall them. I tell you in Proverbs 11 chapter, the desire of the righteous is good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. Okay, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth. Salakia. I'm just pulling over. And the exhortation from within being less counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen, man. Hey, the Heavenly Father is just going to bring, pain and fear upon these people out of nowhere, man. Out of nowhere, the Lord is. Somebody might be cool, and then all hell breaks loose. Okay, martial law is declared. The people just start seeing apparitions, man. Okay, up until the point where the Lord kill them. All right, take their spirit. All right, I just want to go into that was heavy in my mind when I was watching the movie. Like I said, Anon is a good movie. Like I said, it's an older movie. I do recommend you go see it, man. All right, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, and shalom to the elect.